This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 128, baby. Oh yeah. And in today's episode, Boom Boom Cannon is back, people. Oh yeah. This is the first episode, I think, since Dan the Man's return. Without him, we will miss him, of course we will, but he will be back very soon, as will Corporal Coma, as will Clarification Charlie. We are a team here at Rock and Roll English, baby. But one thing you can always be sure of is that you will be listening to real friends talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and lots of other completely useless stuff to give you some rock and roll vocabulary in context. And in today's show, we also have some rock and roll pronunciation and other stuff, really, because that's the wonderful thing, isn't it? You say rock and roll before anything, and it sounds good. Even if you talk about grammar, rock and roll grammar. Anyway, that's enough of that. I've got some good news. The members area will be open again next week. So if you want to join the Rock and Roll English family, then you only have to wait one more week. Remember, if you're part of the family, you get a podcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all with a transcript on your phone. On your phone. You don't even have to go and read it and find it and download it or anything like that. Plus, you get a Saturday bonus podcast. And there are lots of other benefits as well, like being part of the coolest secret Facebook group in the world, where you can talk to people from all around the world. But we will speak about this in more detail another time. I just wanted to let you know that it is happening, baby. Anyway, here is the conversation with me and Boom Boom talking rubbish, as always. Remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. Go there, find this episode, find the vocab, enjoy the conversation, and happy listening. Boom Boom Cannon, how are you today?
I am good, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic, Boom Boom. Always fantastic. Big things have happened on the podcast since you were last on, haven't they?
Have they? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't. Has the podcast even been going since I last recorded one?
No, it's all about you, yeah. Boom Boom. If you're not on the podcast, just nothing happens. It's just completely dead.
Yeah, but no, you've still been doing it, have you?
Still been doing it, yep.
Good.
Dan the Man, he's back. Luke from Luke's English podcast, he's like podcast royalty. So there's been two big names in the podcasting world, and now you.
Tough acts to follow. Real
tough acts to follow. Some rock and roll vocabulary there. Making a reference, I think, to theatre, actually, when someone does an act and then you have to come on after. If someone's had a brilliant act and then you come and you do something shit, that could be embarrassing.
It could be. So I'll try.
Very much like this situation,
I'll try not to be shit.
That's generally my motto in life in general. Try not to be shit. Okay? It's something I live by. Okay?
Good motto. Good motto.
Yeah, real good motto. Anyway, Boom Boom, how do we usually start the show?
Well, it's been so long that I can't remember, but is it a review?
It is a review. Do you think we have a review?
We must probably lots of reviews wondering where I am, surely.
Oh yeah, loads of those. Haven't seen any, but as I always say, you need to send me the review. So I imagine there's loads all over the internet.
Probably.
I just haven't seen those ones.
There must be.
Yeah, but there are no other reviews. I've been recycling old ones with Dan the Man's name in that I thought probably I shouldn't use when he wasn't on the show. But now he's back. I've used those in the last couple of weeks, but they're all finished as well.
Positive ones about Dan the Man, were they?
Positive,
okay,
yeah.
Good.
Luckily, yeah. So I used some rock and roll vocabulary there when I said recycling, like reusing. Anyway, Boom Boom. So today's show. Now that Dan the Man's back, I'm worried if you can cope mentally with this, okay? First of all, what does it mean to cope?
To cope means to manage something, to be able to put up with it, to deal with it, really.
To deal with it, yeah. Use some more rock and roll vocabulary. When you put up with something, it's when you sort of tolerate it, yeah. So I want to see how strong you are mentally, Boom Boom, okay? So I've got a few questions here, well, kind of questions, and we're just going to talk through them, okay? Just to see if you really can cope.
You're gonna test me, put me to the test.
Yep, exactly.
You know I love tests. So
exactly, any kind of test.
Bring it on.
So the first one says you have doubts or negative thoughts before, during, or after high pressure situations. So do you have any of these negative thoughts, Boom Boom?
Well, I've had the odd negative thought in my time.
So when he says there the odd negative thought, he means like, yeah, it's happened a few times. I would argue against that, Boom Boom, and say you don't have any positive thoughts in your mind. Only negative thoughts go through your mind.
I don't have any positive thoughts about this conversation.
Well, this is a perfect example. I also have another example, actually, where Boom Boom and I, a few years ago, watching TV, there was a beautiful girl on the TV, and I said to Boom Boom, oh, God, I would love to, be good friends with that girl and, maybe hold hands with her. Boom Boom replied, yeah, but me too, but I just don't know if I could give her what she's looking for. So even in an imaginary world, Boom Boom, you were still having negative thoughts.
I was just, she was quite the character. Quite demanding. I would have was my sort of my guess about her. Yeah.
Well, I can give her that, Boom Boom. I can give any woman what they want.
Wow. Okay. That's a statement you're willing to stand by, is it? You can give any woman what she wants.
Yes, I am. So rock and roll vocabulary there when he said you're willing to stand by it. So you're willing to defend what you say. And yes, I am, Boom Boom.
Any woman, all of the women.
There are quite a few women, I think, in the world, but I'll give them what they want. Okay, all of them.
Good.
But yeah, these negative thoughts. I can just imagine you, Boom Boom, just at breakfast making some toast, thinking, "Oh, what if I burn the toast? This could go badly."
Could burn the toast, so
have to be prepared.
Have to be.
Yeah. So the next one is: are you open to feedback from others?
Positive feedback.
That's exactly
feedback.
That's exactly my reaction. I'm very open to positive feedback, especially very open to 5-star reviews on iTunes. Okay,
love positive feedback. Yeah.
Not so interested in a 1-star review on a podcast app I've never heard of.
Keep it to yourself.
Exactly. No need to share it. If it's not positive, I don't want to hear it. So what about you, Boom? Are you open to feedback?
If not really. Sometimes, why you give it? I don't need that feedback a lot of the time. So, yeah, keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
No, I think I like to go for the in sort of work situations, and I'm managing people. It's something I've done, something I can do. Go for the old.
You were some kind of manager, weren't you, Boom?
Some kind of manager, Martin. I was the manager. I was a great manager.
Some lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. Well, I suppose word stress, some rock and roll word stress. Sounds a bit strange, that one. When he said, I wasn't some kind of manager, I was the manager. Oh, that was real sexy, Boom.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's some positive feedback for you. That was
very positive. I'll try and use that again. Yeah, see, I can't handle the positive feedback. You've taken the wind out of my sails with that.
Oh God, slow down with this rock and roll vocabulary. When you take the wind out of someone's sails, it means they're moving fast, and then something happens, and it stopped.
Stop them, yeah.
They've lost the magic. That's why Boom Boom can't think of anything to say now.
No, but what I was going to say, it was a sort of classic management technique, is go for the old feedback sandwich. So if you want to give someone some negative feedback, you sandwich it with positive feedback either side of the negative. Classic.
So, oh God, that is such great management talk. So that's what you ask people to do when they give you negative feedback. If someone says, I've got something negative to say, just say, give me the positive sandwich?
Feedback sandwich.
Feedback sandwich.
I say, give me a tasty feedback sandwich.
And then you can say what you want.
Then the filling of that sandwich can be anything. It can be really negative, but just as long as you sandwich it with some positive feedback, then I'm happy.
Perfect. Love it. Okay, so the next one. When you go the extra mile for someone, some nice vocabulary there. When you do something like beyond what you're expected to do, you expect something in return?
Do I expect something? No, not. You know,
Such a nice guy, aren't you, Boom Boom?
Not,
Such a nice guy. Tell the truth, Boom Boom. Everyone expects something. If I do something nice for you, I fucking want something back.
Yeah, but what, like immediately?
Well, in the sort of foreseeable future, in like a month or two, yeah.
I would hope that, you know, then maybe at some point, if I needed something, you'd do it. But you know,
Sort of calling in a favour, as we say. So when you do something, then you call it in and they have to do it for you. I, for example, took Mrs. R&R's sister, and well, actually picked her up from a night out at 3:00 in the morning the other day, and she was like, "Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate it." And I was thinking, yeah, but, you know, I'm expecting something back here. Okay, don't just think it's just a thank you's enough.
what do you expect? What would you like in return?
Oh, I don't know. But if she can't think of anything, just maybe like €50. I don't know.
Yeah, no need to thank me. Just pay me money.
Just pay me €50.
Yeah.
A taxi would have cost 60. Boom, boom. Okay, so she's still winning.
She's in pocket there.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
€50.
Yeah, in pocket. She's doing well. Notice as well when I said that a taxi would have cost. There's some rock and roll connected speech. These rock and roll connected speech, rock and roll stressed words. This doesn't really sound very good, does it?
Doesn't get much more rock and roll than connected speech. Is it?
Absolutely not, Boom Boom. Okay, well, this next one you're definitely going to enjoy, okay? So you recover well from knockbacks. So, knockbacks, reliable Russ. What's a knockback?
A knockback, when something goes wrong, something doesn't go...
Yeah, something goes wrong. When you get rejected, basically. When you get rejected. And I've got a great story here when actually I was the one that got knocked back. Boom Boom was there, present, sitting back and very much enjoying it. We were on a night out, so going out drinking, and then we saw a girl that we had seen the week before, spent quite a lot of time with this girl. I saw her, went over and said hello. I think I gave her a kiss on the cheek to say hello, and then she said, sorry, I don't know you. Who are you? And then I was standing next to Boom Boom, and then she saw him and went, "Oh, Russell, so good to see you." And I was just standing there looking like an absolute dickhead.
Yeah, it was a good moment, wasn't it? It was
one of the best moments of my life, Boom Boom. The thing that makes me mad about this, Boom Boom, right? I was on a night out with my friends from university, okay? Boom Boom was tagging along. So when someone tags along, it's like, you don't really want them there. Boom Boom came along. It's like, you know, Boom Boom's got no friends. He can come with us. And then that happens. You try and do something nice, and then I end up looking like an idiot. There's the motto, another motto, Boom Boom. Don't do anything nice for people.
Yeah, I think what was particularly good about it is that she was rather attractive. And I think you definitely thought you were there with your friends. You're showing off. You're thinking, oh, God, the lads are going to enjoy this.
So slow down with this rock and roll vocab. Showing off is like when you want to show people how wonderful you are. And the lads, yeah, the other boys. Yeah.
Martin clocks an attractive lady, he thinks.
So sees an attractive lady, clocks an attractive lady, yeah.
He thinks this will impress the lads. I'll go for the big hello, kiss on the cheek, look a bit continental. And
I didn't go for the 2 kisses though, Boo Boo, just the one.
Just the one. You're still living back in England at that point.
But the strange thing was that she actually, when I sort of gave her a kiss, I thought, yeah, she definitely knows who I am. And then afterwards, I was like, "Hi, how are you?" "Yeah, good." And then I think instead of saying, "Yeah, I'm good, how are you?" she actually said, "Yeah, I'm good, who are you?"
Oh, it's a good moment. And I think when she then recognised me and came over and, you know, did the big hello with me.
It was like she had seen a celebrity. She literally was like, "Oh my God," like screaming, jumping on him. So it's literally one extreme to the other.
And then we were both like looking at you like, "Who's that guy?" I just said, "I don't know. Never seen him before." He said, "He did it to me 5 minutes ago."
Yeah, that was a tough one. Tough to take. Very difficult to get over. So to get over something, to recover from it. Happened, I would say, more than 10 years ago, but obviously it's still on my mind. I can't sleep at night thinking about it. Boom, boom.
Thanks for the reminder of that one. I enjoyed it. That's good.
No problem at all. Okay, I think that's a very good moment now to move on to the next one, which is, do you ever have difficulty controlling your anger? Okay.
Yes, something that has happened before. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I was thinking Boom Boom especially has difficulty controlling his anger if he's had more than 6 pints of beer and England are losing a football match.
In that situation, I will get angry.
Chairs will be thrown, windows will be smashed.
Get out of the way. 5 pints, it's fine.
After that 6th one, just stay away from Boom Boom.
The 6th pint and a defeat in a penalty shootout for England, and just get out of the way.
Yeah, all hell will break loose, which is some more rock and roll vocabulary, just to say basically things will go absolutely crazy. But you have been warned, okay, so if you ever do see Boom Boom in that situation, stay away. Okay, so the next one is you're walking down the street and somebody runs past you and takes your wallet. I'm very interested about this one, Boom Boom, because you actually had a very similar situation. If we just substitute the word wallet there for phone, this actually happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us how you reacted to that, Boom? You were on your own, I believe, this time.
I was on my own.
Yeah.
The problem was the young man in question, I assume it was a man, was on a bike. And I had my phone. I was walking down the street, texting, sending a message or two, and he just cycled past and took the phone out of my hand.
1 minute you're sending a message, next minute
it's gone.
I wonder if he finished sending the message to the person that you were texting.
I think it happened so quickly. My fingers sort of kept on sort of almost pressing imaginary buttons for a few seconds, and then realised, hang on a minute, there's no phone there. Yeah, no, it was really annoying.
I can only imagine your reaction. I'd imagine you were past the 6 pint mark at this point, past the 6 beers. So I could just imagine you running down the street. Come here, you bastard.
I had a few drinks. I think if he had been on foot, I probably would have tried to run after him. Yeah.
Lovely third conditional there, Boom Boom. Did you notice that?
If I had been.
Yeah.
I didn't think to myself, I've just dropped a third conditional.
Well, you should have. Notice I said you should have. You should have thought that, is what I'm basically saying. Yeah, you should have. Yeah, I can imagine you running after a bike, though.
Yeah, no, he was gone. He was gone before I knew it.
Oh, these thieves of today, they're just so quick, aren't they, Boom Boom? Moving on their bikes.
They are. Yeah, no, it was a bad moment for me, that. Just sort of reliving it now, actually. It's quite traumatic. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, no problem, Pooh. Still wasn't as bad as mine, though, I think. I would rather someone stole my phone than having that moment in front of all of my, well, not all of my mates, but quite a few of my mates as well. That was the worst thing, that people were there to see it. No one saw yours, Boom Boom. It's like that thing, if a tree falls and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a noise?
Does it make a noise? Yeah.
It's very similar to that.
But what about if if you are mugged for your phone, if your phone is taken?
Okay. So some rock and roll vocabulary there. When you're mugged, it's when someone basically steals something from you, like on the street.
Yeah, no one's there to see it, but then your friend brings it up on a podcast. Did it really happen? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but just the world needs to hear this type of thing, Boom Boom.
Just
okay?
It's a warning. Be careful with your phones out there.
Exactly.
Don't walk along with them right out in front of you, ready to be taken.
Yeah, maybe you can get some kind of chain that connects your phone to your hand, so they won't be able to do that next time.
And
okay?
it would look cool. So.
Exactly. Be prepared.
So before we move on from that, what is the context of these questions? I think I missed that. Why are they being posed?
Lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. So when you pose a question, it's basically just saying when you ask a question. Well, the thing was to see how strong you are mentally. I just typed into Google, how strong are you mentally quiz, and these questions come up. And as soon as I see a question like that, of like you're walking down the street and someone takes your wallet, immediately, Boom Boom, I'm thinking of the story of someone coming down the street and stealing your phone. So I thought I have to put that in. But yeah, I agree. It doesn't really give you that much indication of how strong someone is mentally, does it?
It doesn't. And mental health is important. That's so And that's fine.
Exactly.
Look after your mental health.
Exactly. We should stop making a joke about this because it's a serious issue. Exactly, yeah.
It's toxic masculinity. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, we've done a podcast before, haven't we, about real men and all
Yeah.
that shit. It doesn't exist, okay? Just it's okay being sensitive, okay? Be comfortable with who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great note to end it on, Boom Boom. And I think we can also say that I'm more mentally strong than
Okay,
you.
yeah, good. I feel like we've undone the good work that we just did.
Yeah, exactly. Some more rock and roll vocabulary to end it on, when he said we've undone the good work that we've done. So when you undo something, it's when you cancel or reverse it, I would say. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah, so thanks a lot, Boom Boom.
Pleasure, Martin. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. I'm still not sure if you've lived up to certainly Luke from Luke's English podcast, but he is like the podcast king. So,
Well, what about Dan? Have I lived up to Dan?
I don't know. The listeners would have to decide that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, mate.
Okay. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon, Boom
Cheers.
Boom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was me speaking to Boom Boom Cannon about being mentally strong. At the beginning, Boom Boom said that Dan the Man and Luke from Luke's English podcast are tough acts to follow. Lovely piece of rock and roll vocabulary that. When someone brilliant has done something before you, like a performance, then you need to go, it's a tough act to follow. And we were talking about the reviews, and I said that I've been recycling old ones with Dan the Man's name in it. So when you recycle something, it's when you reuse something, like recycling rubbish. Most people know that, don't they? But it's one of those words that people have difficulty remembering. It's one of those words in your receptive vocabulary, but not productive. So let's move that into your productive vocabulary, people, and start using it. I said to Boom Boom that I'm worried if he can cope mentally with all of this stuff in the podcast, new people. So when you cope with something, it's when you have to manage something difficult. It's often used in a negative, actually. Like, let's say you've got 5 kids, they're running around, causing havoc and stuff like this, and you say, oh, fucking hell, I just can't cope. I can't manage this situation. I then told Boom Boom that I could give any woman in the world what she wants. And he said, is that a statement you're willing to stand by? So when you stand by something, it's when you remain loyal to it, or even to someone. Let's say my wife is in prison. She murdered someone, okay? Everyone thinks she's horrible and says, leave her. And I say, no, I'm going to stand by her. Okay, I will be loyal to her. And just so we know, my wife is not in prison. I don't even actually have a wife. And I'm not 100% sure if I can give any woman in the world what she wants, okay? So I'm not sure if I can actually stand by that statement. So we were also talking about when you go the extra mile for someone. So that's when you do something more than you need to. For example, I try to go the extra mile for you listeners. I could just end the podcast at the end of the conversation, but I do this bit to help you remember the vocabulary. I go the extra mile for you, okay? Boom Boom also then used the term when you call in a favour. So that's when you do something for someone and they have a debt, let's say, of a favour to you. Then you call in that favour and you say, well, you know, I did that for you last week. Well, could you help me do this? Thanks. We also had the term in pocket. So when you're in pocket, let's say I buy a car for £1,000, okay? It's a shit car, but I buy it. And then a week later, you say to me, oh, I love that car. I'll give you £2,000. And I say, sure, take it. Then I am in pocket because I've made money. Boom Boom also said that I recover well from knockback. So when you get a knockback, it's when you're rejected, let's say. I remember once when I was about 11, I said to a girl, will you be my girlfriend? She said no. Terrible moment in my life. She knocked me back. Or I could say she gave me a knockback. But just remember, when that happens, when a girl says no, you're always one step closer to a yes. Okay? So don't worry about knockbacks. That's always been my motto. I was then talking about the night when I went out with some friends with university and Boom Boom tagged along. So when you don't want someone to be there and they come anyway, they tag along. When I was a child, for example, I tagged along a lot with my brother and his friends. He never wanted me there, but I tagged along. I didn't care if he didn't want me, okay? And speaking about that horrible moment when that girl knocked me back in that nightclub that time, Boom Boom said that I was there showing off. So when you show off, it's when you try to show people how wonderful you are. For example, when I was a child, I was quite good at football. So if there were any girls watching, I would try to do some kind of skills with the football just to show off, just so they knew I was good at football. It didn't work, but that was what I was trying to do. Boom Boom was then telling the story about when I clocked an attractive lady. So when you clock someone, it's when you notice them, when you see them. Maybe you're just walking along the street and then you just clock a very attractive man, let's say. Maybe Dan the man with his big muscles. You're walking along thinking, okay, this is just a normal day. And then you see a really sexy man with big muscles and you can say, oh, I clocked this beautiful man. His name was Dan the man. I was then saying about when Boom Boom drinks a bit too much and all hell breaks loose. So when all hell breaks loose, it's when things go completely crazy. Boom Boom was also telling us about when he got mugged for his phone. So when you get mugged, it's when someone kind of steals something from you in the street in a kind of violent way. Although Boom Boom's was quite smooth, really. Someone just went on the bike and stole his phone, but you can still class it as being mugged. Generally, we use this for a man that steals the handbag of an old lady. Okay, he mugs her. Not recommended. Okay, do not mug old ladies. Don't mug anyone, but especially old ladies. Towards the end of the conversation, Boom Boom didn't know why I was asking all of these strange questions, and he said, why are these questions being posed? So to pose a question is very similar to ask a question. I had to actually look up the difference. So when you pose a question, it's when you don't necessarily expect an answer. Maybe you just pose a question on a website forum, for example. Whilst when you ask a question, you want a direct answer. Wow, now this really is rock and roll vocab, isn't it? Anyway, remember, all of this rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. There is a quiz there as well that you can do to help you remember the vocabulary. Remember, the membership is opening again next week as well. I will also see you on Thursday this week for the Expert Secrets episode, the first episode, okay? There's a lot of shit going on in rock and roll English, isn't there? Anyway, I will see you all again very soon, people. In the meantime, though, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.